Okay. Okay, then I will start. Yeah, good morning everyone together. My name is Gerhard Schüler and I welcome you to our Unicat Live today on the 9th November. I will speak in English because we have often some participants which want to hear it in English. And as every time with this meeting, we are recording the meeting and will place it afterwards in our Tube channel so that everyone can take a look on the meeting. So it's a little bit important that you don't ask your questions while the meeting is running. There is a possibility at the end of the meeting. I will give you the chance then to get your questions and give you answers. And this part of the recording will be scratched off and will not be visible on the internet. So I want to start today, and our topics today are 4 points. The first one is a new feature we added to Operations Manager. It's called maintenance mode. Benjamin, please don't interact with TeamViewer, because if you interact, I lose my focus. So it's not possible for me to present. Yeah, it's maintenance mode, and maintenance mode is a possibility to bring Operations Manager in global into maintenance mode that only one user can work. It's something like a single user mode with SQL Server, and I will show you how you can configure it. It's very easy. And then I want to show you a new option which was added. It's the two-factor login options. We know these options from confirmation of requests. Here we have the possibility to configure two-factor confirmation for requests, and this was enhanced to the login itself to Operations Manager. Then we have a nice feature, which was an idea from one of our good customers. There is an option with the PowerShell interface, especially on Exchange, to limit the Exchange remote PowerShell to commandlets, which will be used inside a script. And that means that not all commandlets will be loaded with the start of a remote PowerShell session, but only the commandlets I need in the script. And if I reduce this to these commandlets, then the whole thing will work very much better. We have very much better performance and less load on the system with this feature. So I want to show it to you and ask you or want to give you a hint to adjust your requests in this way. Then we changed a little bit on our HTTP search functions, and there I want to see you 3 nice gimmicks which we added, which we can use to optimize search and start for requests. Okay, so let's start. The first option I want to show you is a maintenance mode. The maintenance mode can be configured in the OM configuration object. And here we have some new attributes. It's the maintenance mode, where you can disable this mode. And then we have the maintenance single user, which is very important. In the maintenance single user, you can configure a user account, which is the only one who can log on to Operations Manager. That means to OM Home and OM Basket and OM Web. You can only use this user account to log on if you set maintenance mode to 1. So it's a little bit tricky. You have to be exactly when you do it. You have to use a single user here, which is possible to log in. It will be approved, but you have to use this, and then you can log on with this user. Then we have a maintenance message, and the maintenance message, it can be specified in German, English, will be displayed on the login screen, so that users which cannot be logged in are informed why it is this way. We use it, for example, if we install a new application container with new requests or something like this, then we want that no other people are logged onto Operations Manager and that no one can start a request and so on. And so we start maintenance mode, given the maintenance message for the time of the maintenance. And so we have the system for our own. There is a maintenance redirect. If you are logged in with integrated security, then you can be redirected directly to HTML page in the OM home, where you can place a file which will be redirected to and which will be shown to users who cannot log in here. Then we have a special feature. It's called maintenance mail redirect. That's very tricky too. It's in the lower parts of the OM where mails will be sent. All mail traffic will be redirected to the address specified here. And that's a feature which is working independent on maintenance mode. If you specify a mail address here, then all mails, confirmation, warnings, and so on, all mails Operations Manager sends will not send to the originator where it was configured to send, but it will be sent to support. So you can suppress mails to any of your customers or users. That's very usable if you want to test and check some processes which are with a lot of communication inside. You can place this alternative address here, and then no one will be getting away a mail except this address specifying here. Okay, so let's have a look on it, how it works. We go here to the system and configure it. Normally, I can show I can log in here the normal way with my user. It's admin OM in the moment, and for now, I will start configuration, maintenance mode, and this can be done if I go to maintenance mode and place here 1. Now maintenance mode is activated, and if I log out and want to log in again, oops, I can't log in. Why? Because I'm OM admin user now. And when I go to the web page from Operations Manager, then he sees, oh, OM admin is not the user I can log in with. The user I can log in with is my ADG Schül user. So I have to use this user to log on. So everyone which is not ADG Schül will see this page now, which is configured. And if I want to start it or log into OM, then I have to do the following. I say here run as different user, and start, for example, the browser in another user context. And when I do this and navigate to OM home, then I will see the login screen because ADG Schül is a user which is allowed, but I can see the message other users see. If you are coming on a public website as a guest user, for example, then you will see this screen, or if you haven't configured a page to redirect, then you will this screen instead of the redirected. Okay, so I can log on, but I'm the only one who can log on because my user is configured in the OM configuration. I can see that I'm in maintenance mode because here, when you see your login information, there is an info that there is a maintenance mode activated, so no other people can log in. And that's all you have to do. And now you can do all you want. You can start requests, you can load an application container and so on, but all other users are not allowed to interactively access Operations Manager, and you can do your maintenance without any problems. Okay, so far, now I have 2 other hints for you, which are very useful, because often we want to suppress other parts in Operations Manager which are not so nice. For example, if you have a scheduled job, or if you have a job which places himself in the queue to restart, then you want to suppress these jobs to work. And I want to show you how you can do this. For example, first, what I have to do if I want the system completely for my own, I go to the OM scheduled tasks. Normally I have here scheduled tasks, and here, for example, here is one with every minute. For example, I will disable this job. Here, disable it, and I can do this for all the jobs, and so I can suppress that new jobs will start. That's one point. Another point is, if you have requests which start themselves and which are planned for the future, then you can set the status of such a job to a status which you don't want. For example, here this cleaning archive is a job which is in queue itself here. And if you don't want to start this job when you are in maintenance mode, you can go to the queue functions here. And then you can take the Unicat archive clean job. And there's a nice feature. You can say, set the dispatcher to waiting. What happens now is when I go back to the queue, I can see that this request is paused. No, this one is it. Okay, here, this one. It's paused because we set the dispatcher to waiting, and now there's no dispatcher which get this request out of queue. And when I'm ready with my maintenance, I can set it back to a running dispatcher. So I can say all requests which are waiting, set dispatcher to all, and so the requests are enabled again. Okay, there is another thing which is not very nice. When you are in maintenance mode, we have the XML web service and the OMI API. And this might be a problem because maybe you want to suppress that requests will be started there. And there is another nice feature. You can go to the OM web service configuration and set in queue waiting to enable to 1. And if you do this, then every request which will be start with the web service will be start in the status waiting. And that's very nice. I go to OM web service configuration. And if I want to suppress that, for example, with this server, oh yeah, it's enabled. I tested it. Yeah. Okay, in queue waiting. If you set it here to 1, then if you start a request over web service on this server, then it will be started as waiting, and so there's no interruption for your customers because they can start and bring in new requests, but the new requests won't start. They won't wait in the queue until you set the waiting status to another status. For example, we can make a test here. I have a request which is called wait, for example, and it has here an attribute milliseconds as a parameter. So we can do this. We go to a web service here, for example, in queue with ID. So I have to log in first. A moment. Here. Okay. So we use, for example, where is it? In queue with ID. For example, here the server. It's here, database, and this is my request schema and the params that we can identify. We say 5 seconds to wait. Okay, we invoke web service starting, running, and starting the request with this request ID. And if I go back to Operations Manager, then I will see in the queue that there is a waiting request or a new request here. This is the one from us. We started it, it says status waiting, and all requests coming in have status waiting. And when I'm ready with all the stuff, I can go here back to OM configuration and disable maintenance mode. And that's the idea, to set it to 0. And if I do this, maintenance mode has ended, and normal user can log in again. Okay, that's a new feature which is very usable and useful if you make maintenance tasks like bring a new application container or changing requests, and you don't want to your users to use Operations Manager for a small time or a longer time. And it's very easy and very usable and useful. Okay, so the next topic is the two-factor login option. That's very easy to configure. We have a request to generate a one-time password generator. You need an application like Google Authenticator or something like this. And there is a request. You can generate this. And when you generate it with a request, then it will be placed where am I here? It will be placed, sorry. It will be placed, here is it, okay, sorry. Will be placed under your OM account object. The OM account object is an object where all your configuration values will be stored. And when you have a one-time password generator, then the information will be stored here under your account. And if you have this and you activate two-factor login for a user, this will be done on the OM account too with login OTP gleich 1, when you set it to 1, then you have to use two-factor authentication to log into Operations Manager. It's working in the basket and in OM Home, and we can configure it, for example, here. If we go, first of all, I have to use the request to generate a generator. It's called with top P something. And if you use one-time generator and start this request, then I'm logging at admin OM. I specify a PIN of 6 characters, then I can generate such a generator. Now I take my phone, my cell phone, and use all the authenticator to store it on my phone. One moment. I have to do it. I delete the old one, remove account, and now I take another one inside. And you have the option to scan in QR code. I will do this now. And if I scan this, I get the new password generator. That's all I have to do. If I cancel this request, all is done. And I can see that after that, there is a sub-object of my account. This one, where a new object was generated. We can see it on the date time that we have it here. And now we activate the two-factor login option here. It's the logon OTP. I will set it to 1. And if I log out and log in again, then I will log in integrated. But now I can't go into OM. I first have to get in a new password. In this case, I can read it here from my cell phone, type in the code, and then I'm logged in. And so it's only possible to log into Operations Manager when you have this two-factor authentication, that you generated a key and have the key on your cell phone. It's the same function that we use with confirmation. It's now implemented in a normal login to strengthen the security of Operations Manager. Okay, so the next topic is we have the PowerShell EU commandlet parameter. There's a new parameter for the PowerShell commandlets in Exchange environments. And here we can preload these preload the parts we want to have with the PowerShell operation. I want to show this in Operations Manager here too. If we use a request which has, for example, this feature, I'm going to something with Exchange and modify. I have to type it the right way. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Maybe I'm not. Wrong user, sorry. But no lights. Something with the mailbox, I think. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, we can take one, for example, this one. Where is this request? I don't know where it is. But it doesn't matter because we can do it here and use, for example, here the new where is it? Management. Here we have it. Okay, and here we have the new feature. If you use here it is. Okay, sorry. A bit early in the morning for me today. Okay, so we have here the execute PowerShell command, and here the new feature command name. And here you can place with comma separated all commandlets you want to use. But it's often necessary to test it, because if you, for example, use something like add mailbox rights, then this commandlet uses another commandlet called get mailbox right and set mailbox rights. And so it's necessary sometimes to bring in more commandlets here than you can see in your script. The first idea is to take a look at the script and then get all of the commandlets used in the script and put it into this command name and bring it in this parameter. And then it will run much more better, faster, and with less load on the server. If you already have requests using this elemental operations, it's important to know that we have here this feature to update the parameter from interface, because when you have used earlier versions of this elemental operation, there is no command name parameter. And when you want to add it to your schema, then click on this parameter icon, and then all these parameters will be updated to the new version, and then the command name will appear, and then you can put in the new command names to this parameter. Okay, so that's the feature as I show you here. And in our case, with a lot of customers, we go this path and change the request, bring in this commandlets here, and have a much more better performance. Requests are running much more faster, and the load is not so high. So we recommend to do this. It's a nice feature. And we implement it as like Microsoft has done it. Okay. Okay, so the next one is, yes, there's this explanation for you once again how to do it. Okay, now we go to the new possibility to edit HTTP objects, and here it was for some of our customers a surprise that we made this input box a little bit greater. Normally here we only search for objects here, and as you know it, if you are searching for a user, you can search here for the CNAME or here in all attributes. But now it's important to search maybe for more information, and we have a bunch possibilities to search For example, if I want all users which are in this org unit, then I have to ask for the org unit object and have to take a look that the org unit ID, for example, has a special information inside. If I choose this and click on this enhanced search string with selected attribute, then a HTTP query will be built automatically. I search for accounts residing in this org unit. And if I search, then I have only accounts in this org unit. And if I want to reduce it, for example, to the admin accounts, then I can go further and do it again. If I click here on CNAME and enhance, then it will be enhanced with and here, and I can edit it now. And now I can see, for example, all admin accounts which are residing in the org unit users here. And that's a very nice feature because you can build up very easy, complex HTTP queries. And if you want to use it in other environments, then you can use this SQL button, for example, and then the SQL statement generated with it will be displayed here and can be used, for example, to generate all these ideas. Yeah, and here I can copy, for example, all these ideas. And as you know, I can start, for example, multiple requests with this IDs. If you go here, for example, we have ideas of accounts here and start the multiple requests. Oh, has to be compiled. And for example, take such a request as too much inside, we take here one. For example, here a function to refresh an account. Then you know you have here the possibility to bring in the parameters for the account. And if I bring in here all these accounts, these admins accounts, then I can generate, for example, the parameters. The main data is missing. If I type 1 here, for example, then all of these accounts have the main data 1, but I don't know it. Sometimes it's a little bit tricky because if I have here users which have different metadata, then I need exactly for every user every metadata here. And that's a nice feature too. If I take this, start a new, then I will get the dependent objects with the dependent information. Oh, okay. Oh, no. Okay, if I go here, I can do the following. I can paste all these ideas inside this box. And first now, Operations Manager takes a look, what is it? Oh, these are accounts, and bring out all the ideas and show me all the users. But they're a nice feature. I have these users here, but what I can do now, I can uncheck this, and for example, if I need the mandatas in exactly the order the ideas are inside this, I can get this. And here, I have exactly in this order the mandatas. And that's the thing I need, for example, in this request to start. Yeah, I put them in, and for now, I have to expand this too. And then you'll see I have exactly what I want. The first user has metadata 2000 configured right, the second one has O, and so on. And this can be done with OMDB data, and now I can start, for example, these requests and refresh all my admin accounts. Yeah, and that's a very nice feature with Operations Manager that you can use here. These enhanced search features, and that you can bring in IDs here, and that the order will be the same in the question, that it's not mixed. In the display, it's mixed here. As you can see, it is sorted here on the left side. But if you make a HTTP query and get out the information here, then it's not sorted, then it can be, it's exactly in the order you bring in the ideas here. So it's a very nice feature to get information you have to prepare to start multiple requests here with Operations Manager in this query window. Okay, so far, and now the next point where I am here, I can start request generate SQL queries very easy. Then I want to show you two nice new features we have, which are important. One feature is if we use the SOAP request object and running REST requests, then there is a standard which is very widely used. It's the Java Web Token, and we haven't had this option to log on with the Java Web Token, and we added it to Operations Manager. It's very, very easy. When you use Java Web Tokens, then you have specify an algorithm, and you have to specify a header and a payload, and this is standardized in this RFC. And this header and the payload will be bring in your request, and then a token will be given back to you. And then with this token, you can do your requests, and it's very easy made in Operations Manager. If you have a web service which use this JSON, for example, then you can configure it here in the SOAP request. The SOAP request object, for example, we have one with here, which has the Java token, and here you can see you can specify the type of algorithm, you can specify your application ID, and then when you bring out this request, then you get a timestamp, a time to live, and your token, which will be automatically used for your requests. And the secret you need is specified here. We use a user account, which does not matter, but the secret will be stored in the password field here for the Java Web Token. So it's very easy. Configure algorithm, application ID, put your secret into the password here, and then we will generate a timestamp and token, and we'll use this one for the request, which will be done. And for example, here it's a GET request, and you can see here how it is made. It's going through here. You don't have to do anything. Call it, and all the stuff with the Java Web Token will do Operations Manager for you. Okay. Then we have a last new feature which some of our customers already have used. It's our new setup. We have dependency to install shield in the past, and that's not very nice because every time we switch the .NET framework to a higher and new version, we have to use a new version of install shield, which is a lot of work. So we removed install shield from the setup operations and built up a new own setup based on the .NET features. And this setup is working like before. You can install, deinstall, update, but there is a new feature with the update. All your settings and all your files residing, for example, in the OM Home, OM Basket folder, and so on, are not removed. Before install sheet, with install sheet wizard, we have always deinstall and then install. And without install sheet, we can update, and update means that all parts which are newer will be replaced with the new components from Operations Manager. So all the old stuff will be like before. And for example, we don't need a job to copy customer images, for example, to the images path. That's not necessary, because if you use update here, Operations Manager analyzes what is installed on the system, and all these components will be updated and will be installed in the new version. Okay, so far for my things I want to show you. For now, I'm ready with OM Live today, and now we have the possibility to give some question insight, and I will hope I can answer when you have some questions. Are there any questions to the topics I showed you this morning?